Okay, so now we just checking in. This is part two, picking up where we left off. So now we should have two square boxes, okay? And you'll notice that the back we've left alone because that's what's actually going to attach to your building is the two side towers here. Okay, we've set those to the side. We have our stage to the side. Now we're ready to start working on our stage. On our walls. It's themselves. So we're going to take the inner wall, which is this shorter piece. Okay, and this particular wall, we are going to fold inward. Okay, in a circle. So you'll notice that it has these tabs here, okay, and this blank kind of space here to the end of our tab. I'm going to take this, I'm going to rotate it inward, and I'm just going to line my dot piece up like this, okay, and I'm just going to glue it into place. So all I did was I took it, I folded it in, I lined up my tab so that I have dot, 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 and they're all nice and lined up. And I'm just going to glue it into place there on my finished piece. Okay, and I'm going to hold it for just a second, let it harden out, and glue tight like so. Okay. All right, that's my inside ring. That's the inside walls of my theater. All right. I'm going to take this outer wall, which is the longer piece. Okay. These pointed tabs go at the top, and the same concept is going to apply here. I'm going to take this outside wall, and I'm folding outside this time because I want it to be shown on the outside. And you see the dot here. Okay, I'm just going to take and I'm going to make my wall meet it perfectly so that it's aligned there on the thing. And I'm going to glue that as well. Okay, so now I have an outside ring, I have an inside ring, and we're going to join everything up together now on our thing. So what you're going to do is you're going to take these rings, and I told you that the tabs are always going to be folded down. Now with the outside ring, all my pointed tabs are going down. Okay, and since it's also an outside wall, I don't want these tabs sticking out. So my bottom tabs I'm going to actually fold under as well, like so. Okay, like this. And so I'm just folding them down. Okay, and then they're not visible. As you can see here, they're not visible on the outside. So folding all your tabs down. Okay, the inside wall, I'm going to do the exact same concept, but I'm actually going to fold the tabs and make sure that they're folding out on the inside wall. So they're going to look like this instead, because again, I don't want them to be seen when you're looking inside. I don't want the tabs sticking out. So outside wall, I'm folding in. Inside wall, I'm folding out. Okay, do that and we'll be right back. Okay, so now what I have are my two circle shapes. Okay, I've got my outside wall and I've got my tabs folded in like so, and my inside wall, I have my tabs folded out. Okay, let's work with the smaller ring first. Take your stage floor, and you'll notice on your stage floor that around the perimeter you've got those little, they look like squares, but what they actually are, if you look up and close and personal, are those tabs. There's spaces to glue the tabs. Now, you're probably not going to get them exactly correct on the floor, but you're not going to be able to see them, so don't stress about lining up every tab the way it looks on the thing. What you do want to make sure that you do, however, is on your inside ring, you have, let me turn it the right way, you have your dot tab here and your big square with a dot here in the middle, and then that other little tab. The back of your stage, okay, the back of your stage is actually going in that spot, okay? And what I mean by that is I want to make sure that that piece right there gets behind my stage. So I'm going to set it in place to show you what I mean, and then we'll glue it into place. Okay, so I've got my tabs. Gonna have to just kind of fold my stage down just a little bit to get it to fit, and then oh, there it goes. I lost myself for a second. Happens frequently. It's going to look, when I get it glued, it's going to look like so. Okay, so you'll notice that I've got my, okay, so those two little tabs that are on the back of my stage that have the dots, well, this way, are what goes on these two blanks here and on the other side, right there, okay? All right, so gluing it into place. I'm going to put some glue in. It really helps if you glue the floor and just run you a light coat all the way around on that inside ring, just right up to the stage, that heavy stage line right there. Just run you a little thin spread of glue like all the way around, glue it into place, and then glue your stage into place on the back of this, okay? Okay. So now what we have, once you have that glued into place, you have your inside ring that is glued in the right place, and I have taken and I have mounted my stage back and glued that into place as well. And you can see that it's open right there, so there's like a hole in there, and you're going to want to leave that kind of open so that you can do the next our coming step in just a little bit. Okay, so now we got to do our outside ring. Okay, same concept applies. You want to add glue around here, all the way around down here on the ground, and then you're going to glue your outside ring into place. Now, you want to be careful because these two little tabs right here and right here actually need to line up with these tabs that are here on your outside ring. So the numbers 2 and the 3 here actually need to line up with, I'm just going to put it kind of down into place, and then I'll glue it in just a second. They actually need to line up with those squares that you see, because that's where you're going to mount those two little boxes that we made. So you want to make sure that when you glue it now, okay, and the thing with gluing, and it's very tedious, I understand, like, because it's so small. But what you always want to make sure that you do is keep your shapes, forming it carefully, like making sure that it lines up right so that it makes the right circle. So take your time. Don't get in a hurry to do that, okay? So that means it's going to be important that you make this fit, even if you have to glue just a little section at a time, so that nothing is overlapping, so that your bottom actually ends up nice and neat and fitting correctly on your base. Okay, so take your glue, make sure you line up those two side tabs and glue that next set in. Okay, so now I have my outer ring in place. I've taken my time and really made sure that I've got it good and glued all the way around and shaped it out so it's nice and round. I've checked to make sure that I don't have any, it's nice and smooth on the bottom. There's nothing kind of hanging out or sticking out, and my tabs are in place where they're supposed to be, so they're ready for the next step. Okay, so the next step is the roof. You have 2 semicircles. You have a smaller roof piece, and you have this larger roof piece. Okay, so we're going to start with this larger piece. You have the concept is going to be the same as we've done in the past. So I'm going to take this piece, and what I'm going to do, and I want to make sure that it forms a circle, okay? So when you're gluing, just be really careful that you get it lined up right. So I'm just going to take the end that's colored, and I'm going to place it and glue it nice and neat so that it meets the other one, and what I'm going to be left with is a nice circle. So do that. And then go ahead and do the same thing with the smaller one, okay? Same concept. You're going to put you're going to glue it nice and neat so that I'm sorry, I went the wrong way in my thing. I'm looking at it from the back, trying to hold it up to you. Okay? Nice little circle, okay? Go ahead and glue those and then wait for the next step. So now I have my 2 rings here and here. Now the smaller ring is an inside ring, so it's going to look pretty much like it is now. Okay, it's the inside part of the roof. This one is the outside ring. So what you're going to want to do is, now that you've got it glued, and wait until it's glued, and you're going to flip it inside out so that the tabs are kind of sticking up. Okay, so then what I want you to do is take your tabs and fold them down like so. All the way around until they're kind of just folded in, not all the way down, because what you're trying to do is get a place to glue your inside ring to make the pitch of the roof. So let me show you my model. You see that the roof has this nice little ridge along the top, and that comes from gluing those 2 outside and inside pieces together. So it forms a nice little pitch, like kind of all the way around. You can feel it. It's kind of like a hard edge. So that's what you're trying to do, is to fold your tabs in so that you have a place to glue that inside part of your roof. Okay, so do that and we'll be right back. Okay, so once you have your tabs folded in, what you're going to want to do is, and this is kind of one of those things where you want to kind of glue as you go, because what you're trying to do is still keep that pitch shape. Okay, so what I would do is take the part where you joined it, where there's kind of where you joined it together, and on your other one as well, and line those up. And I would start gluing from there. And what you're going to do is just add glue kind of as you go onto your little dots. And you're going to glue and press down, trying to keep that pitch. And so what I try to do is kind of work it like I'm pinching it at the top as I'm gluing it, so that my pitch of my roof stays in shape. Okay? Okay, so you've probably taken the time and you've noticed that it's not quite round. That'll be okay. It will straighten out once you get it done. And you also may have just 1 or 2 little spaces at the top where you can see kind of white from where your tabs were, and that's okay too, because when you're finished you can go in with a marker or a color pencil and kind of like color it in. Okay, so now I have my roof, okay, and I have my thing, the rest of the body of the globe, and I'm gonna stop this video and I will finish it off on the last video.